Real news. True, honest, and not fake news.
This is my guest today with Real News. I have Ethan.
Hi, everybody.
There we go. And we're going to talk about the most important, newest events happening in the world. And we're going to start off with the phone call Trump made that's causing a lot of controversy. And everybody's kind of going after him for that.
Oh boy, another new week.
Yes.
Another new controversy.
Yes.
I like it. By the way, I have not prepared at all for this, so
yeah,
I'm coming to this with a blank slate. I haven't even heard about this particular one.
Oh, interesting.
So, Sean, go ahead and explain it.
Okay.
What has he done now? What has he done now?
Trump has done many things, but specifically, as Trump called her, wacky Congresswoman Wilson claimed that Trump said to a widow of a fallen soldier in an ambush in Niger, that was a major event that happened during the week, that he supposedly said to the widow on the phone that the soldier that was killed knew what he signed up for. Now, she didn't give any context for that, nothing quite clear of how she heard about that. She claims she was in a car listening to I guess maybe somebody that had the phone call on the loudspeaker, and that's when she claimed she heard it. The chief of staff, John Kelly, who's like Trump's right-hand man, said that Trump never said that, and he actually recommended Trump did not make the call. To fill you in, though, John Kelly's actually a Gold Star father. He has, I think it was a son that died in Afghanistan, so he's been through this. He's a 4-star military general, so he's definitely in the know-how of this. So Trump was asking for advice, how to make this type of call, because it's very difficult for anybody to have to do that. And he normally recommends not to make the call. He says that, it was actually very brave of Trump to make the call. But John Kelly, because he was talking about this during a press conference, he also said that Obama never called him when his son was killed. But, big but here. He said it was not a criticism. He did not criticize Obama for that.
Okay.
He said it's not negative.
Okay.
Bush didn't call many of the families that lost soldiers, probably because of the high casualties. He just doesn't have time to make all of these phone calls. If that's good or bad, that's up to you to decide. But Kelly then said, this is the weird part of it, and I have to mention this. He said a congresswoman who stood up, Wilson, and in a long tradition of empty barrels making the most noise, stood up there in all of that and talked about how she was instrumental in getting the funding for that building. Now, Wacky Wilson, as Trump calls her, alleged that empty barrel is a racist term, but she didn't explain why. And she's also said that the White House is full of white supremacists, and so what do you think of that bit right there?
The ending bit?
Everything I just sort of said. Yeah, I'll get your reaction on all that.
Okay. Well, I'm not really. I guess. I can sort of see the point of the fact that Trump made the call in the first place is kind of like, he like that sort of thing isn't like really necessary from the president, Yeah, it's like
that's true.
That I can understand if he did some like Medal of Honor courageous thing, but if like it's just a fallen soldier, that sort of thing has happened so many times that it's not really like the president's place, I feel, to be call be on the phone. Like that should be more of like the generals who actually knew the guy, because I don't know the full context of the story, but I'm guessing Trump never actually met this soldier.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, he can say all he wants about him, how he was a good patriot, but he didn't really know the guy.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of odd that he would even like bother making the call in the first place. Not to say it probably wasn't coming from a good place, because I'm sure it was, but I mean, And that whole last bit you're talking about how he always has to bring up Obama in this.
Well, that was John Kelly, to be clear. They brought that up.
John Kelly, okay, but still. It's
and
like,
Trump did reference it right later.
Yeah, exactly. Trump has to always mention how much better he is than Obama.
Which he is.
Well, at least I actually got to talk to these soldiers, unlike Obama, who didn't.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the Boy Scout conference thing where... is my mic? Okay. This reminds me of when he went to that Boy Scout conference, and he spent
that was beautiful.
He spent that entire time just like talking about how, oh well, Obama never went to a Boy Scout meeting, and look where I am. Like, dude, okay.
The crowd praised him for that, so that's where I think as a speaker, you guys sort of like, I wouldn't. If I was, I probably wouldn't politicize that, but the crowd was cheering him on. I think everybody loved him, so I think he just kept going with it at that point.
But I'm just saying that, I mean, I feel like he's kind of still in, like, he has to always be beating Obama, even though Obama's not even playing the game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it almost feels like he's been in Obama's shadow for so long because, like, he's always wanted to have what Obama had, but he hates Obama. Yeah. So now that he's at that same level, he has to constantly be talking about how much better he is, even though at this point I'm sure Obama doesn't give a crap about like whether or not Trump is doing more than what he did. I mean, like,
well, Obama always reacts to it though, and he always tweets stuff out. He's always criticizing Trump, so there's kind of that sort of like battle he's going on. I mean, Trump, let's be real, he doesn't like when people criticize him, you can say that's. I think there's just a little bit of strategy involved, which is if you let people criticize you and get away with it, they're going to keep doing it. If you fight back, they're a little more scared to do it the next time. To help build his image, I guess you could say. But, I like going back to the first thing you said about like maybe this isn't his place to do it. That's kind of hard because I feel like you said, the generals have a more personal experience with the guy. They met him. Right. At the same time, if you got a call from the president of the United States after your son died, like, I don't care who the president was, I'd be moved by that. I mean, that'd be pretty powerful.
Yeah, if he said the right thing. But according to this, I mean, it was kind of controversial about whether or not, because this is, I've heard this is one of those things where it's like, when you make that call, it's like there are no good words.
Yeah, that's true.
People have tried and like they can't. You don't know what you're gonna say to a grieving mother, a grieving family.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure Trump is in the same position. Like, just speaking like I mean, I just like Trump as much as the next guy, but
I love him as much as the next guy.
But even I have to give him like the credit of nobody could have. I don't know anybody who could have done like a perfect job at condoling the family, which is why I think that he shouldn't have done it in the first place. I think it should have been, or maybe like if he wanted to console that mother, like maybe write a letter or do something like a phone call. I don't think was necessary in that particular instance. But
well, it's interesting because as this controversy started to build up, a Gold Star widow released her phone call of Trump. She actually had somebody film her doing the phone call.
What was that like?
And I think it was Trump's first ever phone call to a Gold Star widow. And I listened to the whole thing. It was as good as you could ever get. I mean, he called the soldier an amazing guy. He praised him. He praised the widow. He was talking about the kids that they have. And he was saying like, oh, like your son's in football. Like, how's he doing with that? Stuff like that. And they were, it was like a, personal sort of like conversation, like talking about the family and all that. And, she was laughing through it, trying to keep spirits up. And she later described it as a moment of niceness that we needed because we were going through, and I can't say this word on air, but the opposite of heaven. Okay. So I know you're going to, okay, now I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat. I know you're going to lose it with me.
Okay.
The thing that I think this is a ploy by the Democrats. Now, hear me out.
Wait. Specify what's the being the ploy? You're talking about the Congresswoman?
The Congresswoman Wilson with the freaking red hat going after Trump for all this. I think what she wanted to do is like what the Democrats did in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, the relief effort was done smoothly. The governor said it was great. He praised it. He loved it. Every call we made was received, he said. And everything we wanted to get, we got. There was one mayor, the San Juan mayor, who was freaking out over this.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was a bunch of crap because the supplies had gotten there. They were being held up in the warehouse, and she wasn't doing anything about it. But she was able to get this nice little T-shirt that said "We're dying." I mean, that she could get quickly.
Well, isn't like 85% of Puerto Rico still without electricity?
Yeah, but they're still getting it back. You know, I mean, but they still got the supplies there, the relief supplies. Power always takes forever to, bring back. Like, even like at my house, when it goes out, like sometimes we'll wait a week just to get power back. I know it's been longer than that, but with Puerto Rico, everything comes by either the sea or air.
Exactly.
It's not like...
And that makes it really difficult.
Yeah, the whole thing's very slow.
I mean, I don't know. She probably was exaggerating a bit, but I could see why there would be some frustration if, like, Trump is on air talking about how great things are going in Puerto Rico and how amazing he is personally for how he handled it. And then you're one of the citizens who still doesn't have power, probably still doesn't have clean water, I
think they got most
water.
of their clean water back.
But
I think I saw it on Reddit or something.
Yeah, maybe now, but this has been like what, a couple weeks since they've since the hurricane came in.
I don't know.
So
the
I mean,
story,
they've been suffering pretty well, and like, there's still some frustration. I mean, even this is the kind of thing that a president has to deal with, because even if it's not like his fault per se, people are still going to blame him because he's the face of it. And that's not a Trump thing. That's like every president has to deal with
president.
So I mean, that's I think what you're talking about with the frustrations. Now, how this is employed by the Democrats, I mean,
well, because I'm thinking, since General Kelly went really hard against the media, he's a Gold Star father. He knows what this is like, and he was with the phone, with Trump when he made the phone call, and he said it never happened. That he said that let me get the exact quote, that the soldier died knew what he signed up for. He says Trump never said that. Only this one Congresswoman is claiming this.
Well,
now I think it's just made to make Trump look bad. I know I can't prove this, but I'm getting that feeling, because I'm sensing parallels to Puerto Rico here, where it's nowhere near as bad as they said, or didn't happen like in this case, but they're doing it to make Trump look bad. And in the end, I hate to tell them this, but it just makes them look bad. Because if they're going around saying this stuff,
makes Trump look bad, is what you're saying?
No. It makes the sorry, I keep using pronouns. How dare I? It makes the Democrats look bad, because instead of focusing on policy, instead of focusing on working with Trump, making better deals, they're saying stuff like this, where they're just attacking him for stuff that didn't happen.
Well, I hate to say it, but I mean, this is what the Republicans have been doing for the last 8 years. So it's like,
and I
you
didn't
can't
like
really
it.
like say that.
I did not like that.
I mean, you can't say that the Democrats are like, the evil party that's like halting construction, because that's what the Republicans have been doing for the last 8 years.
Yeah,
it's just,
I agree.
It's just the flaws of a two-party system that I hate that our country has to have. But there's one side that's like in power, and the other side that's doing everything in its power to keep the side in power from accomplishing anything, or just making them look bad in general.
Well, yeah, because that's what I hate with the Republicans, is like, no matter what Obama did, because it was done by Obama or the Democrats, they'd hate it and not vote for it.
Okay, I remember one instance in particular where it was about, like, Obama was giving a speech. I think it was after some kind of mass shooting.
Mm-hmm. Did he bring up guns?
Well, I don't know if it was. I think it might have been for Sandy Hook. I forget. But he like literally was breaking down to tears talking about this, and it wasn't even about like gun restriction, because now everybody's gonna point to that like, oh, he was just using it to move his own political agenda. No, he was talking about how, like, why do we have to live in a world where innocent people, innocent children have to be shot? And he was tearing up. Like, he was feeling genuine emotion. I remember that the Republicans, like, in Fox News just went ham on him about how he was faking it, and about how he's like, oh, Obama, did you practice really hard to get those tears come out? They were being like, jerks about it. And I mean, I remember that being like, holy cow, that's like regardless of political affiliation, like, that was a genuine moment that shouldn't even be like politically divided. Like, anybody should be upset about children, regardless of whether you want gun restrictions or not. So I mean, like I said, it's just happened like with both sides. Both sides have done this. Both sides have been jerks to the other side. It's whatever.
The only time I thought tears were fake was crying Chuck Schumer when he comes out and with Trump's travel ban, and he starts crying how people can't come in the country. And I'm just like, Chuck, there's exemptions on it. These people are coming in. There's a little chaos at the beginning, which I did not like. But it's not the end of the world. He was crying over this, but he wasn't crying over 9/11. He wasn't crying over any mass shootings. So that's where I think Obama's was genuine. I think Chuck Schumer made his up, because I've heard reports that he actually does do this. Even Glenn Beck is supposed to be done fake tears too. Like, there's a right winger for you. Like, supposedly Glenn Beck has made like fake tears on air. I'm just like, what type of person does that? That they fake their tears to get people to like them more? Because I know what it is. It's an emotional appeal.
It's more empathy, yeah.
Yeah, and you win arguments and you win support with emotion. You don't make a lot. If you're Ben Shapiro and you're like, I'm a debate club college Republican, I'm gonna make some nice argument here. It's gonna be so specific and I'm gonna sound so calculated.
Good Ben Shapiro impression.
I know.
That sounded exactly
like
on
him. Oh yeah.
On point.
I'm not Jewish enough to make the impression right, but he's kind of like, remember we were looking at Zuckerberg last time. He's like a robot.
Yeah, I agree. He is a robot. He's like.
I could try my impression again. Okay. It's illegal immigration is down 22% in the United States. We're going to go into this and we're going to go do that. And then it's going to go and he like talks really fast and I don't know what he's saying. And that's like, okay, but you're making only logical arguments. You're not,
I do
making
have
jokes.
to like Ben Shapiro for his like how much he appreciates logic and like
yes,
debates
he's very
and conversation.
smart.
I do like that. I agree he is very smart, but he like I mean, I don't doubt the guy is like can be like emotional and stuff, but you never see it from him. He never
Ben Shapiro's a robot. He has no
never
emotions.
feels like I never get that human connection with him. So I like the guy. He's not gonna if he ever wanted to run for anything meaningful, to get elected, he's never gonna win because
of course
he
not.
can never appeal to people's emotions.
Yeah, because if you look at compare Ben Shapiro to Milo, and that's what. Ben Shapiro only shows emotions when he gets butthurt over Milo because Milo's more popular than him. And he would get so angry. Like he actually called Milo alt-right, which is the most dumbest thing to ever call Milo because alt-right people basically believe that all minorities should be kicked out of the United States.
When an alt-right person burn him at the stake for being gay?
Yeah. Because one, he's gay. Second, he married a black guy. And third, he's slept with black guys the entire time before getting married. How is he alt-right? Somebody explain that to me. I mean, and Ben Shapiro pushed that narrative, the alt-right star Milo.
So even Ben Shapiro can fall into, spreading false rumors to...
Oh, yeah. That's because he hates Milo. And he's got this personal vendetta against him that's silly.
I was hoping Ben Shapiro would be above that kind of thing, but whatever.
Well, Ben Shapiro doesn't really care about that stuff. He cares more about money and profit and getting his brand up there. But anyway.
Yeah, you said we could get off topic in this radio show, right?
Yeah, we can go off topic.
Okay,
we can go very far off topic.
We are very far
Last
off topic.
time, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about cars and Priuses. So yeah.
Okay.
But it's still real news. There's no fake news here.
All right.
So I think we covered that subject well. The one thing I will mention, I know you won't be interested in this, but I am.
In other news, Trump is literally Hitler.
Is he?
He wears a toupee.
Have you seen those memes? It's like a Pepe that screams "re," and that's what all these people when they're saying he's literally Hitler. But yeah, we're toupee people, so beautiful. Yeah, and they actually had people on the campaign. I don't know if you saw us come on the stage,
and they pulled his hair.
Yeah, he's like because people would,
I dare you.
Well, yeah, because people would say he had toupee, and he's just like, come on, come up to the stage. See, check if it's real. Check it. And this woman grabbed it and pulled his hair. He's like, see?
The hair might be real, but the way he stylizes it is not. I don't know.
It's beautiful.
Sorry.
Good thing there's a dump button. I have not gone a single week without having to hit that this year.
Okay, good.
We've all broken bad.
Yeah. You never told me at the beginning of this.
I
what
forgot.
The swear policy's like.
I just knows that. That's why I kind of subtly hinted about it when I said the opposite of heaven. Because I was just like, oh, crap. I forgot to tell him the most important rule.
But we can say crap.
You can say crap. Crap's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Anyway, rough transition. The one thing I want to say that I'm interested in is happening on Monday. There's a very important man coming to speak at Penn State, Austin Petersen. Not many probably know about him because he's very unpopular. And not unpopular because he's crazy, but because he doesn't brand himself well. He's a founder of the website The Libertarian Republic.
Oh, boy.
So he's a libertarian guy. But what's big is that he's running for the 2018 Missouri Republican Senate seat. So he's a libertarian running as a Republican. Imagine my shock. And he endorsed Gary Johnson for president. which I have to sigh at because it's
I love Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson. Even you, okay, we can at least agree. Gary Johnson is actually an idiot. Like, there's no way.
I think any libertarian's kind of an idiot. I mean,
oh God, good thing my friend isn't here right now. He'd smack you. But you know, Austin Peterson's a smart guy from what I've seen. I'm very interested to see him on Monday. So if you're here at Penn State, I think it's 201 or 202 Thomas, 8 p.m. on Monday. You can go check him out.
not going to be a very full crowd. Not in State College.
Yeah, there's not many college Republicans are sponsoring this event. There's not many of us to begin with. So, yeah. But, you know.
Are you going?
Oh, yeah, I'm going.
Oh, really?
Definitely. Yeah, I want to see him because he's kind of like, the libertarians know about him and they love this guy. They're like, Austin Petersen, oh my God. You know, because Gary Johnson's a failure. He's not a libertarian. He's an idiot. I don't know where Aleppo is still. And he did you see that one interview where he had I
haven't seen much of him, honestly.
Oh God. There were cringe compilations of this guy.
I had to look it up. Yeah.
He was on a stage about I think carbon taxes or
carbon taxes.
I know it's something you're gonna love.
Yay.
It was either carbon. Okay, it may not have been carbon taxes. It was something to do with something libertarianish, and he just spurged out on the stage. He was singing in a chair, and he just fell on the ground and started shaking and playing dead.
Oh my God, did he have a seizure?
I thought he did, but he didn't. He was just acting.
Whoa. Okay.
It was so bizarre. In another interview,
carbon tax triggered.
Yeah, he was triggered.
he was
literally shaking. And it was about carbon. It was something like that. But he also then in another interview of something else. I mean, again, I don't know the context of these interviews because guess what? It doesn't matter because he still acts weird. He just started fucking. I don't know. That was how he was talking in the interview. He
might have mental issues. I don't know. He's libertarian, so he probably does.
Libertarians are good people. Some of them. I mean, they get a little crazy.
They have good intentions, but
they're not practical.
They haven't really thought out how their position in the real world.
Yeah, they're idealistic.
They live in their fantasy lands, and
and even have you heard the non-aggression principle?
What's that?
This is a libertarian meme right here.
Okay.
Basically, their sort of idea of law is that, because they believe in no government, they think the only law, they call it a principle that you'd have is the NAP, the non-aggression principle, where if you I know, it's already hilarious. If you violate the
why don't we all just take a nap, guys?
Yes. Aw, everything would be better in Gary Johnson land.
So let me guess, a non-aggression pact means you can't do anything aggressive, which concludes killing.
Yeah.
So that would be the only thing that'd be illegal is any times of aggression.
Nobody can do harm to you unless you're aggressive to them. So
so self-defense.
It's basically extreme self-defense.
Extreme self-defense.
If you do something that aggresses somebody, they could send, as they joke in the memes, a recreational nuke and kill you. Yeah. It's pretty far, but anyway.
Like I said, they don't live in the real world. Okay, so
yeah, they're not practical. Big story that not enough mainstream networks are talking about because I hate the mainstream networks and they don't like talking about this stuff.
We all know that.
Yeah, we do. Anybody that's listened to this show knows that about me. But The Hill, who's actually, I say is a pretty good outlet because they have some left, right, in the middle stuff. They have a mix of everything. They had a great report by John Solomon, who's a very, very good reporter. It's actually doing the work about Russia supposedly bribing the U.S. for uranium. Now, I'm going to read the first paragraph quote of the story because it kind of says it the best. Quote, before the Obama administration approved a controversial deal in 2010 giving Moscow control of a large swath of American uranium, the FBI gathered substantial evidence that Russian nuclear industrial officials were engaged in bribery, kickbacks, extortion, and money laundering designed to grow Vladimir Putin's atomic energy business inside the United States, according to government documents and interviews. Now, I looked at the story, and yes, there are FBI documents. This isn't anonymous sources or sources tell CNN that Trump is Hitler. No, these are actual documents that were recovered from Freedom of Information Act of the FBI that showed that Russia routed millions of dollars to the U.S. Through multiple, like I said, money laundering, extortion, kickbacks, all kinds of crazy stuff. But there's also documents that show that Russia routed millions of dollars to the U.S. to benefit the Clinton Foundation. And so that then raises questions of what was Bill Clinton involved in this? Did Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton met with a Russian nuclear official during the uranium deal. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. And then that raises the question, were the Clintons bribed into giving them the uranium? Because there's a history of this happening with the government, government contractors that were trucking the uranium, bribe them to give them extra uranium that wasn't a deal, or to even get this deal. That we kind of know already from the report. Now, the Clinton part's where the gray area gets in. Like, what did they do or not do? I don't know. So maybe there's some Russian collusion here. I don't know.
I'm sorry. The whole time you're talking about that, I was just thinking Back to the Future and like a bunch of Russians that come up and they start shooting Clinton for uranium. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's no
great answer.
It's no surprise that the Clintons are involved in some kind of controversy. I mean, they pretty much I'm pretty sure their Wikipedia page, the list of controversy they're involved in is longer than their actual professional career. I mean, it's something that that's always been with them, especially Hillary. And I mean, yeah, I could believe it if there was some collusion.
Yeah. Yeah, because this has always been developing. I know Trump talked about this, and Hannity and a bunch of other people were always talking about the Clinton Uranium One deal. And I think just people haven't looked into enough. Now they're finally doing some digging. They're starting to uncover stuff. Because the Clinton Foundation has had a bad record. They've done some good stuff, but the money's not going to places and not doing what they say they're going to do. So that's the whole controversy with this. I know I didn't fill you in enough on this beforehand because I was busy today, but this story has just been developing through the week, and it's probably going to get bigger. Yeah.
But it's if we're gonna play politics here, it's something that Russia has been doing with both sides of trying to people are always saying how Russia's like Trump and Putin are in bed together. They're there's a lot of collusion with that. That might be true, that might not be true, but
no evidence so far.
But
there is evidence of this.
Trump Jr. would beg to differ, but anyway.
Yeah, but he didn't collude though. He showed intent to collude.
He intended to collude,
and even then, who wouldn't do that? Because I know you're gonna say I'm defending him, but think of this situation. Because I didn't think of this till Scott Adams brought this up. Imagine if the Russians had vital information on the Clintons. Imagine that. Damaging information.
Damaging. Okay.
Now, what would be the good Samaritan response?
You don't collude with them.
And what do? You call up the Homeland Security, the FBI. Would you let the government be the only people that know about this information, or would you sit on the meeting, know the information, not do anything with it, but know it, so that the government doesn't do anything dirty with it?
Okay, well, that's getting into the conspiracy of the government is going to be super sneaky and hide it, which that's happened.
I don't trust the government. That's the problem. Yeah.
Would you trust Trump's government?
Yes, because Trump's for real. I don't trust some of the people that are working for him. I only trust Trump. I don't even trust Pence. I mean, you look at Pence. I think did I tell you this? I call him Mr. Clean because he looks like the Mr. Clean guy on the.
But he has his hair.
Yeah, I know he does have hair, but he's so clean about everything. He doesn't have any dirty background. He doesn't have any changes in marriages.
I wouldn't say he's that clean.
Well, there's the gay conversion therapy thing, but even that, he has. I don't fully understand if he signed off on that bill, if it was something he indirectly did. I don't understand. I've not looked into that as much as I should have.
All I know is that the guy, he hates gay people. He doesn't believe in evolution. He's a backwater, kind of, that kind of Republican that I really don't like.
Yeah, he's a hardline far righty.
Yeah.
But the thing with Pence is you just look at the guy. He always smiles correctly. He's always looking the right way. He doesn't blink too many times. He's always carefully crafting his words.
He's politically correct, if you will.
He's extremely politically correct. But he's just you look at him and I'm just that guy could have murdered somebody, and you can't tell. I mean, he just looks like the guy.
Is there some House of Cards vibes going here?
Yeah, he just killed somebody. It's he wouldn't blink or wouldn't show an emotion the next day. He's like Frank Underwood. He's literally Frank Underwood. I'm just Trump, man, gotta be careful with Pensy. The silver fox, he's the silver fox and all, but you gotta watch him.
You can criticize Trump all you want, but I mean, at least is Trump like
You know what
if
you're getting.
if he murders somebody, he'd be bragging about it on Twitter. He wouldn't be doing some elaborate cover
Last
up.
night, I saw Hillary Clinton on the street, and I took a big, giant knife to her back. There was blood everywhere. ... The next tweet.
That's too coherent though. You had to be like last night. I saw Clinton stabby, bad woman, fake news.
We need to cure you of Trump derangement syndrome. He speaks very well.
You have to. We were talking about this last night, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, I need Sean needs to be my Trump translator because I don't understand. Somehow he can understand the gibberish that comes out of Trump's mouth better than I can.
Have you watched how much? Like, have you only heard sound bites of Trump, or have you heard him like a press conference or like a 10 minutes of a rally?
I've heard press conferences and stuff.
Oh, his press conferences are awesome. Oh my god, I love them. Because he just gives the media every punch to their face. I love it.
Anyways, what were we talking about? Russia.
Yeah, Russia.
Stuff. Yeah, Russia is definitely to be watched out for both sides. I mean,
Yeah.
I think what Russia's doing is they're trying to play both sides against each other, which is probably their intention to begin with, by making it seem like, well, they did. I think that's been confirmed that they did interfere with the election to some. So.
Did you see CNN? They literally had a story. I got the notification that said Russia interfered with the election through Pokemon Go. I started laughing so hard because that was the most retarded headline.
Amazing.
Dude, you know what they claimed they did? They claimed they just changed character names to like Black Lives Matter activists, and that was somehow interfering with the election with 12-year-olds playing Pokemon Go.
I don't think anyone's saying that. Like
so silly.
They're doing stuff like changing votes or anything. But I mean, my point was that Russia is trying to undermine our democracy as best they can to weaken us, and they're doing it from the inside. They're doing it through various levels of manipulation that we don't fully understand yet. So,
but why this election? Why is it an issue this time? It's because Trump won, and they're making a big deal out of it. That's why calling crap on the media is because the Russians have been influencing our elections or trying to for years. We've been trying to influence their elections for years, and everybody else is. WikiLeaks has documents of us doing it. The CIA does it all the time. We're no angels. We paint ourselves as that for good branding.
Right.
But the Russians have been doing this for years, but ever since Trump won, they were so shocked. They couldn't believe that Donald Trump won the election. Oh, yeah. Oh, did you see those election videos? Election night videos?
Russia?
No, of people in the DNC crying. They were literally
I'm not
crying.
I'm talking about Russia.
Oh, no, Russia's not shocked.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Russia knew what they were doing. They were trying to get both sides against each other, and no matter what side won, they had.
Well, they were not shocked because they didn't care. I think Putin would have rather had Hillary. I think in office.
I've heard that argument made before about how Trump is more hard on Russia than Clinton would have been.
Yeah,
but I still think that they were planning for both sides. I mean, I don't think like I said, I don't think Russia would have been more outright supporting Clinton if they didn't have a Trump contingency plan.
But they didn't.
I think they did.
Well, I mean, they definitely probably did have plans, but like when you look at the history of the Russian hacking, I'm gonna put that in quotes. Because this story's been going on for a year now. It's been a year. The two bad things I think was Michael Flynn not disclosing his ties to Mike Pence that he had with Russians and Ukraine. That was bad, and I will admit that. But General Flynn, say what you will about the guy, but he made a stupid mistake, let's say. And I don't know if they did anything terribly bad that I know of. But the worst thing that I think the Democrats had was Don Jr. Because Don Jr. came the closest step to actual collusion, but he didn't do it. I think they have nothing now. I really think they have nothing. I think they had that story for a while, and they were waiting.
Well, is there still the ongoing investigation?
Oh, yeah.
So there still could be some stuff going up. Like, I mean, I think people were really hoping this Russia thing would blow up into impeachment proceedings.
Yes,
I get that.
They did.
I would love nothing better than Trump to be impeached, but you got to look at this realistically. If there isn't any proof, there isn't any proof. Now, I was more open-minded than most people that there was going to be proof, because one thing I did not like was how Republicans were trying to save his butt, even though, and like not even like trying to be open minded to the fact that he could have, like his campaign could have possibly colluded. Now, regardless of what political party you're in, collusion on that level is bad, and regardless of what side it was on, Clinton or Trump, you should, no matter what your party is, you should still be, you know, interested in discovering the facts, you know, and not wanting to brush this under the rug as just that, oh, well, it's not a big deal. So what if he did collude with Russia? It's Trump #1. Like, that's what I don't like about, you know, people playing football politics with supporting your team no matter what.
Yeah.
They're unreasonable
tribalism.
it's tribalism.
Yeah. I don't like that either. It's just like, I just don't like this constant CNN notification of Russia news, hacking news, and it turns out to be nothing. Or Jim Comey, like he disputed a couple of their stories in his testimony. You know, it's always like, I don't take them seriously anymore. I don't know about you, but
Comey?
like, no, the stories about Russia. Every time I see like a notification, it says Russia did this and that. I ignore it now, because it's not because I don't want to believe it or anything, but it's because I know it's going to be a bunch of crap. And then I'll look into it later, of course, find out what it is, because I want to keep up on everything. And then I find out a week later, oh, that's not what happened, or oh, it's not quite this. So I just get tired of that, you know. And I was thinking something about Russian hacking. I already lost my track. My Trump trade's off the track. Oh no. But yeah, well, I don't think, because what's odd is like people frame Trump's campaign as disorganized. Like they were saying he was running a chaotic, disorganized campaign.
Really? I've never heard of that.
Oh, that's what the left was saying for the longest time. They're saying his campaign's in turmoil. He can't hire, you know, a campaign manager and keep him. And I'm like, well, if it's so disorganized, how could he collude with the Russians if he's so chaotic and disorganized?
Yeah, I don't buy that.
You know, if that's what you believe. Now, I think his campaign was smartly run. I think Steve Bannon took it to another level and made it probably the best campaign ever ran. Me English good. But, you know, I just, there's no consistency of thought on both sides of arguments a lot of times. I just get tired of that. But you want to transition to a new topic?
Okay.
Okay. Final topic. Oh, no. Second last topic. The final topic's the fun topic.
Oh, okay.
Trump tweeted out today, and I quote, subject to the English bad. Subject to the receipt of further information, I will be allowing, as president, the long block and classified JFK files to be opened.
Yay! Nothing.
Really? You think there's nothing?
Oh, there is so nothing. I mean, if whatever there is in the FBI's vault that they're sounding letting us see, it's been redacted. I mean, there is probably nothing new there.
Then why has the CIA been lobbying against this for 54
because they
years?
Because they want to save face. Because I've heard this said that the reason they were like holding on to this so well is because it makes them look bad. Like that, like it reveals information that maybe they could have done more to prevent the assassination.
I think that's definitely going to be in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I believe that they're so interested in like keeping this stuff under wraps. But I don't think there's any like super big conspiracy, you know.
Oh, there'll be more conspiracies coming out.
I mean, there's gonna be conspiracy theories. I'll give you that, but it's not gonna like reveal anything shocking that's gonna change, you know, the way we look at history. It's not gonna be that.
I don't know.
It's gonna come and pass, and people are gonna the conspiracy theorists are still gonna be holding on to their conspiracies.
Oh yeah,
and it's just, you know.
I think a couple things here. One, you got to realize the significance of the JFK president, because John F. Kennedy was...
Yay, history lesson.
Yeah, we're going to learn some history today, folks. I'm your Professor Sean. And JFK was a very different president because he was very principled and he was for real, to put bluntly. And what I mean by that is there was a speech where he actually advocated for dismantling the CIA. I know it sounds crazy, but there's reasons why you could do that, you should do that, or should not do that. So he was very I don't like to use this term because it really doesn't apply to that time, but deep state. I know that sounds a little maybe conspiracy sounding, but think of it, he was kind of like doing things because he wanted to do the right thing. He didn't want to be influenced by lobbyists. He was more of a real, natural president.
Yeah.
And he got assassinated. So the conspiracies opened up because of that. But the CIA isn't exactly friendly with JFK. And I think that's just very coincidence, isn't it, that he's I'm not saying that CIA killed him. I don't think that at all.
No, it was obviously Lyndon B. Johnson.
It was. Yes, it was.
No.
No, that was fake news, folks. Fake news is not allowed here.
But you know what's
You are fake news.
Okay.
No, we're kidding.
What I do find interesting, like I'm not saying this is a conspiracy theory, but this is a fun fact for you guys.
Ooh.
What's interesting about the assassination is that if JFK was never assassinated, we could have never gone to the moon in 1969. Because the reason that our space program got into full force wasn't just because of the Russian space race. It was because people, like the whole getting to the moon was one of JFK's like top goals.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
People, and the only reason the government is willing to fund all this NASA stuff to begin with is because we had to do it in memory of JFK. JFK would have wanted this,
Yeah.
So I like to think of that as like an interesting, what if like alternate reality JFK never gets assassinated, we don't get to the moon until much later because. Or maybe not even at all. Who knows? Because,
we would have gotten there.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, look at NASA now. Like
yeah, but the
NASA's
moon landing
been
was
on
fake, bro.
The budget on NASA's been down ever since.
And
so
Trump
it's
bumped it up.
So it's just an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, but Ethan, the moon landing, that didn't happen, bro.
Oh yeah,
it was Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
I don't believe that either. I mean, I think though the fact that they've been keeping this documents, the CIA has actively been trying to keep these documents quiet for so many years. It means there's got to be something in there. I don't know what, but when Trump,
but it's been redacted.
Yeah,
it's that black highlighter was put to good use. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it probably could be.
It's not gonna. I don't know.
I'm
don't,
worried because
I don't think this is gonna shake anything up.
But like all the recent presidents have stopped this. A good thing Obama did is he let the 28 pages of 9/11 come out, and guess what that revealed? That revealed that the Saudi government, Saudi businessmen funded 9/11 hijackers. That is huge story.
And the travel ban still doesn't apply to them. Okay.
And you want me to add it? We can add it. I'll petition to Trump to add it. I love more countries on that Trump ban.
I'm just saying, if we want to be fair, we shouldn't let the country that funded 9/11
I agree.
into our country.
And that's what I'm afraid about. I'm afraid Saudi influence is so strong. Because I think, as much as I say Trump is for real, he doesn't get influence, which is why I think it shows bigly, to use the term of Trump.
Oh my God,
bigly.
I hate you.
I love that phrase. It's so funny.
It's not a word.
It's not. We'll see. It is actually. It's not BIGLY. It's big and then league. LEAGUE. Like Major League, Big League.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big league. Big league. I get it.
Trump translator here again.
Yes.
Doing my job
for
well.
translating his stupidity to me. Okay.
It's not stupid. It's fair. It's how he's talking like a typical New Yorker, man. Being natural and throwing the punches. I love it. But anyway, what I was saying is that Trump is for real. He's not bought by lobbyists. He's not influenced by hardly anybody. That's why it shows. This is perfect evidence that he's for real. Because many presidents have stopped this. He's not. And I'm wondering, there's got to be something in these documents. And my brain just keeps going. I'm just like, oh, what's in there?
When do they come out, actually?
I don't know. I think it's soon,
Is there
actually.
like a release date?
Oh, is there
a release date?
Is there day one DLC? I don't know, but I'll look it up right now. But it's just you're gonna see Alex Jones just wetting himself when it comes out. He's gonna have so much. He's like, I got the documents. They're declassified. We're looking through him here. He's gonna just going crazy.
It's gonna be like that one lady who was like, I have Trump's tax returns, and it reveals nothing.
Rachel Maddow, what a freaking idiot. She came on. She's like, I have Trump's tax returns. She tweeted out.
It reveals nothing.
It
gonna
reveals,
be like that. I'm telling you.
No, it revealed he paid taxes. That's what it revealed. And it revealed.
Well,
he
she
paid
wanted
the
there to be a
taxes
big
he should've.
conspiracy that he wasn't paying his taxes, and there wasn't there.
Yeah,
because you know
idiot.
why? He's not gonna let you have his tax returns if he didn't really pay his tax.
Well, do you think he trolled her by giving her his own tax returns by leaking them himself? I think he did that.
I think he. Well,
that'd be a master troll move. I love it.
I'm thinking he might have, or his financial team. I don't know if it was necessarily him personally, but I think that they let her have the year he did pay his taxes fully, and not let her see all the other years where it was maybe slipping through the cracks.
They still haven't found it. So I think he pays tax well. But any smart businessman and any smart person is not going to pay more tax than they have to, and that's what he has a record of doing. The National Archives, though, said that the JFK documents have until October 26th to disclose. They have until October. Trying to inject pronouns and like words into this.
So October
sentence.
26th is the deadline.
They have October 26th to disclose the remaining thousands of never before seen government documents of the 1963
That's gonna be fun to
assassination.
sift through.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm gonna have so much fun with this.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting, but
What's our final piece of news to discuss?
our final piece of news is the most fun that the internet's gonna have.
Okay.
You've heard Shia LaBeouf's "He Will Not Divide This" thing, right?
Yes.
For those that don't know, he started out with this webcam in New York that had a live stream, and people come up and go, "He will not divide us. He will not divide us," over and over again, referencing to Trump.
Us.
No, I'd say Obama did, and
But he
Bush.
divided us.
No, he's bringing us together. Economic nationalism will bring us together somewhat. Or Trump haters are always going to hate Trump. But anyway, this was sort of his protest against Trump because, let's be real, Shia LaBeouf, he's not in good movies. He needs attention.
Hey, are you criticizing the Even Stevens movie? I take offense to that. I take offense to that.
Hey, Transformers was his top level performance. Let's be real. That was Oscar worthy. Wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in that.
Marky Mark cannot live up
Marky
to
Mark?
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, I love Marky Mark though. I love him because he went from. People forget he used to be Marky Mark, especially kids our age. They don't know that he was Marky Mark. He was the.
They don't know what? No, Marky Mark.
I know, it's a shame. But Shia, he's always craving for attention, always doing publicity stunts. This is a part of it. And it started out as a webcam, which was fun. I had so much fun watching those streams. And then it shifted to a flag because somebody got shot in the area of the webcam, so he had to shut it down. And he then went to a flag. And you know 4chan, right?
Yeah.
They have a section called POL, which stands for politically incorrect. And these people are what we call, weaponized autists. That's weaponized autism, let's put more directly. These people, basically, they don't have a job. They sit around all day on 4chan. They read stuff, and they have fun basically trolling and doing crazy stuff. Okay? They just like trolling, and they don't have a job. Their job is trolling. So they freaking, when he had his flag up on the live stream, they looked at the star, constellations and the freaking tracks made by the airplanes, matched it up, found the location of the flag, and took it down.
There had to be an easier way to do that.
No, that's because it was the angle of it, you could only see the sky and the flag. It was on a flagpole. And they tracked it down, they found it, replaced it with a Trump flag and a Pepe. And a Make America Great Again hat, so it was hilarious. They keep doing this. They keep stealing his flag. Now he's, after failing to live in a cabin for 4 months, I think he quit out on that thing. He was doing that.
He was living in a cabin for 4 months.
Yeah, he was living in a cabin.
I love all Shia's shenanigans. Remember the
I do
one
too.
time
It's
when
hilarious.
he was sitting in a room and
Watching
people were
his own
lining
stuff.
up? No. When he was sitting in a room and people were lining up to go in a room with him and yell at his face, and he had a paper bag on his head.
Oh yeah.
That,
I remember
art
the paper
experiment.
bag.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's a bunch of modern art crap, but I think it's hilarious in his case. But he then did this thing called Alone Together, where he was out in a cabin in Scandinavia, and Pole was trying to track him down because they put up these a mock-up of the cabin in an art museum, and you'd go into it and he would talk to you, through you text him and you could see him, a live feed of his face on a screen in the cabin.
Yeah.
So they were trying to find him. They couldn't find him. So then he took the flag again, back to He Will Not Divide Us, put it on a white wall, and had a live feed of it. There's no way we could track it. Very difficult. I think Shia loves playing this game of Capture the Flag. This is the greatest Capture the Flag game on earth.
Yeah.
So now he put it in France and gave the location. There's a live stream of it on a flagpole of a cathedral. Pole hasn't gotten it yet because it's very difficult to either do parkour up this thing. All those Frenchies love their parkour. They could parkour up this thing and take the flag, but it's on a cathedral. Very hard to get, a dome.
Yeah.
So you don't want to damage it. They're thinking of doing drones where they could either put a flame torch on and burn it, or they like clip it off and take it. They're playing with everything here. So we're gonna see what happens, but this is hilarious, isn't it? It's the greatest capture the flag game ever.
I do like how he's like giving into, making this a big, like capture the flag, like you said. It's
he's playing with the trolls at this point.
Yeah, he's playing with the trolls, and when you accept that who they are and like in a game, it's
hilarious.
It's delightful.
I know, I love it. It's just so much fun because like every time this happens, like poll blows up. They create a new Discord server. Like they have people that chat like their plans. Like
people
they
have way too much time on that.
They have so much time on their hands. It's insane, but it's so funny. I love it. I mean, we've broken this man with the internet. It's great. Any last words before we go out for today?
Obama did 9/11.
And Trump did 7/11.
Yes.
On that note.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.